On today's presentation, the topic is all about environmental management system and how it affects operations management. What is an environmental management system? An environmental management system is one of the most efficient ways to reduce an organization's environmental impact and is increasingly sought after by stakeholders and environmental bodies. An environmental management system, or EMS, is a set of processes and practices that enable an organization to reduce its environmental impacts and increase its operating efficiency. Organizations can benefit from implementing an environmental management system, or EMS, regardless of size, geography, industry, or stage of its environmental journey. What is an example of environmental management system? For example, a publishing company might implement an EMS framework to management and reduce its paper use by switching to email-only materials communication.
The purpose of environmental management system: to help organizations monitor environmental impacts, control energy efficiency and waste management, and improve environmental performance. An environmental management system can help your company address and work towards non-regulated issues that are more important globally, like energy conservation. There are three basic elements of an EMS. Number one, core process. Identifying significant environmental aspects and impacts of your company. 2. Supporting process like awareness of legal requirements, infrastructure, communicating EMS information for employee competency, and monitoring and evaluating environmental performance. 3. Management system supporting process, including document control, recording keeping, and internal auditing.
PDCA methodology, or Plan Do Check Act method, is a four-step process geared toward carrying out desired change, with the key focus being on continuous improvement. Adhering to this methodology will guide your organization through the strategies it looks to implement. Let's start with plan. Your organization will look to recognize and plan an environmental action. The action will be guided by the number of assessments you have undertaken into your environmental impact and any opportunities that you may have identified for improvement. Next, do. After agreeing on your plan, you will carry out the planned action. It could be beneficial to start off small scale and in a controlled environmental to account for any unpredicted barriers. Then, check. You will then review and analyze the performance of the planned actions and identify what you have learned from the process. Lastly, act. You should act based on what you have learned in the previous steps. If your initial plan was not effective, you can go through the PDCA cycle again and adjust your plan and actions. If your plan was successful, you should start looking to incorporate what you have learned from the test into larger organizational changes.
Who should implement an environmental management system? EMS can benefit any organization looking to mitigate its impact. An EMS can be beneficial to organizations of all sizes, geographies, or industries and is applicable regardless of what stage you are at in your environmental journey. Therefore, EMS helps an organization address its regulatory requirements in a systematic and cost-effective manner. Next slide is, environmental managers are responsible for overseeing the environmental performance of the private and public sector for developing, implementing, and monitoring environmental strategies that promote sustainable development. And they typically develop and then measure the success of the schemes for waste management, renewable energy, recycling, pollution reduction, and pollution prevention. Next slide is, basic elements of an EMS include the following: First is reviewing the organization's environmental goals. Next is analyzing its environmental impacts and compliance obligations or legal and other requirements. Third is setting environmental objectives and targets to reduce environmental impacts and conform with compliance obligation. Last is establishing programs to meet these objectives and targets. Who should implement an environmental management system? EMS can benefit any organization looking to mitigate its impact. An EMS can be beneficial to organizations of all sizes, geographies, or industries and is applicable regardless of what stage you are at in your environmental journey. Therefore, EMS helps an organization.
How it affects operations management. An environmental management system or EMS is a set of processes and practices that enable an organization to reduce its environmental impacts and increase its operating efficiency. This site provides information and resources related to an EMS for small businesses and private industry, as well as local, state, and federal agencies. An environmental management system is a framework that helps an organization achieve its environmental goals through consistent review, evaluation, and improvement of its environmental performance. The assumption is that this consistent review and evaluation will identify opportunities for improving and implementing the environmental performance of the organization. The EMS itself does not dictate a level of environmental performance that must be achieved. Each organization's EMS is tailored to its own individual objectives and targets. Cost and benefits of an EMS. Internal. Staff or manager time. It represents the bulk of EMS resources expended by most organizations. Other employee time. External. Potential consulting assistance, outside training of personnel, and potential benefits. Improve environmental performance, enhance compliance, pollution prevention, resource conservation, new customers or markets, increase efficiency or reduce cost, enhance employee morale, enhance image with public regulators, lenders, and investors, employee awareness of environmental issues and responsibilities.